Lunch with Sandy. This is Sandy Kastel, and I'm here with my co-host, Amy Frost. Hi, Amy.
Hello, my dear. I'm really good.
Good, good. So we always start off the show with a Delivering Happiness message from our Delivering Happiness messenger, Amy Frost. What do you have for us today, Amy?
Well, I am very happy, very excited. Last night we had our first collaborative circle where we brought together 12 people doing really amazing things in the community. And everybody introduced themselves and they talked about what brought them joy and service and what is it they wanted to change in Vegas. And you were there, Sandy.
I was there.
And what did you think of it?
We had a great group there. It was wonderful. We had some profits and non-profits together. And we all came up with some different ideas about how we could team up to do some more things together here in the community in Las Vegas. Yeah.
And we're really doing those the first Tuesday of each month. But what's been coming out of that, and I work with amazing people doing amazing things all the time,
right?
That they are burning themselves out. Right?
Yeah, because we're rushing around,
so it's like we had all these amazing people in this room, and it was nice for them to just stop and take a nice deep breath.
Yeah.
And so what I want people to focus on today, I think, is to be happy, you have to deal with your stress. And you have to take care of yourself.
What a concept.
So once in a while, maybe taking a nice deep breath, and thinking about what are the things that bring me joy. That's what we talked a lot about last night, right?
Yes.
Everybody said, what was the thing that brings you joy and service? And I love Rex with Toys for Smiles. You know, what he makes those toys for is to have smiles of kids of all ages.
Of all ages,
And so just remembering, why the heck am I doing this? And taking the time to do things for yourself. So I recommend people take some time and write a list about what are some things you can do to take care of yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and get them on the calendar.
That's good.
Go do them.
Because so many times we're putting things in our calendar that are things that we have to do, that are tasks and events and people we have to get together with and different places we have to be. But if we can remember to put on our calendar time for ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So that's my thing for today. Everybody,
Okay,
I want
great.
you to get it on your calendar, things that you're going to do for yourself.
Well, thank you. You know, our first guest today is Murray Sacha. Hi, Murray. How are you?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Gosh, you've been all over California. You've been trying to do this new, or you are doing this new, what do you call that? A new...
New what?
Illusion?
New, you mean for the grizzly bear?
Yeah,
That
the grizzly bear.
Well, we did that as a
Making the
one-time
grizzly
thing
bear
for Hallmark. Hallmark came up to me. Woody Frazier, he's the producer of a show in the 80s called That's Incredible.
Yes.
And he worked on the Mike Douglas show. Anyways, it's his show, Home and Family, on Hallmark. And he said, look, you've Spanish trains and Ferraris and all this other stuff for all these other TV shows. We want something big. So I said, well, look, what if we produced a grizzly bear in your show? He said, I love the idea. Send me the proposal, and we'll get it approved. And 3 weeks later, we had a grizzly bear down on Universal set, and we did the trick. It's all over YouTube now. But
I saw the pictures.
It's a one-time thing, so it's good. I'm thrilled. It worked, and I'm here, and I'm alive. So
And you brought him back?
Yeah, well, of course. Well, it's a grizzly bear. You don't want to pick up a grizzly bear. It's a very large animal, so ugly but very aggressive.
Yeah. So now, what are you doing in your show here in Las Vegas? I know that goes on how many nights a week?
We just opened a couple nights ago. It's 6 days a week. We take Fridays are dark, so Saturdays through Thursdays. It's a 4 p.m. time slot. We used to be in the 7.
Yeah.
Roseanne Barr's there at the 7, so I'm at the 4. And the reason we moved to 4 as well, just not because just Roseanne moved in, is the fact that I wanted to be the show before the show. I found a lot of people come to Vegas and they want to see the Celine Dion, they want to see Blue Men.
Right.
Well, it's very hard to compete with those shows. So the great thing is you can come see my show, bring the family, and then go out for a nice dinner and then see the other show that you spent $180 for. You know what I mean? Because mine's so much more affordable. So it's actually, we're finding, we only opened a couple days again. We found it really, really working. You know, it's a nice, and there's less competition. You know.
Well, that's one thing we talk a lot about is the business of being an artist, and part of that is finding ways, you know, to with the competition. I don't want to go directly against it, but how do I find ways with my gifts and talents, you know, together?
But Murray, you bring up a good point. There are so many shows here in Las Vegas, and when people come to visit, or whether they live here or they've come in to visit, you know, they're trying to get a lot of things in, and the afternoon is such a nice time too, because a lot of times people want to walk around a little bit, walk around the strip or walk around downtown. But they don't want to be walking all afternoon, you know.
So of course, they want to
take
a break.
This gives them a break, you know. They get to go see a show, then they go have dinner, then they go see another show, you know. So it breaks that up a lot.
It makes a big difference, you know, when you look at a 4 o'clock time slot, you're competing with 3 other shows at that time slot versus 7 o'clock, and you're competing against 46 different shows.
So
it's a big difference.
You've been at the Tropicana for how long now?
I've been there for, it'll be a year as of May 1st, so we're coming up on a year May 1st, so we're excited. I was away for 8 weeks on tour, and then we did the Hallmark Grizzly Bear thing. I did a couple other TV shows for Top Gear, and we have a new TV series coming out in April called The Jada Grace Show on CBS, the children's series, like the Miley Cyrus show, like Hannah Montana, but it's a different vibe on that. So I'm on there as Murray the Magician, so it's not much of a stretch. Not much of a stretch, but I'm okay with it. You know?
Gee, typecast.
Exactly, you think? As long as I don't have to comb my hair, we're good. That's the rule. You know?
Or shave it.
Exactly, either way, you know.
So tell us, what is the most exciting thing about when you are doing your show? What is the most exciting thing for you?
I think the most exciting thing for me is, you know, I'm so fortunate. I performed in some theaters from 2 to 5 to 10, 15,000 seats. And the greatest thing about this theater, the Laugh Factory, is it's intimate. It's only 330 seats.
Yeah.
And I like it because I can see everybody. I see their reactions. And I get to meet them after the show. So it's kind of nice. When you do TV, like with America's Got Talent, there's 22 million people. You can't even understand that because you can't see them. So the nice thing with this venue, it's so intimate that it brings me back to my roots. So people, every seat in that theater is a great seat. You know what I mean?
You get the reactions immediately.
Of course you do. You can't beat that. And it's such an intimate club. It's the old school comedy club, you know.
That's right. And you can really get a feel for what people are going through, and you know, and you can change your routine a little bit. I mean, I know you have a certain pattern, you know, that you do in your show. But also there are variations, you know, and variances that you can do when you know, obviously you include your audience in your show. You bring people up from the audience. Of
course, yeah.
So
that's what makes it a different show every night. It's a different show. For me and for them, because you never know what you're going to get. You know what I mean? So, So now, how did you get started in the business? Same as a lot of kids do in the magic world is, you know, you get a magic kit as a birthday present, something like that. And most kids put it away after 6 months. I decided to keep it for about 30 years, you know. So that's kind of how it worked. And I went to school. I have a degree in broadcast and television, minor in business and marketing. And you know, I was going to originally be on the radio in the mornings. That's what I wanted to do as I graduated. But I already had such a business going in Vancouver, Canada, where I'm from, as a magician. So I thought, well, let's hang that on the wall for a minute, you know, so I don't have to go to a small town and be on the radio, you know, for, you know, $300 a month. You know, and I just jumped in the magic world and started touring and traveling, you know. So I was very fortunate, you know, at a young age.
So you said you got a degree in college. So how important do you think it is to get a degree as a performer? Because, you know, not all performers think about getting a degree.
No, I think, you know, it's interesting. I know most of my friends who do have degrees are looking for work, you know what I mean? And the ones who come from an artist background aren't looking for work as much, because we are always looking for work. See, that's the interesting. When you go in as an artist, you never stop looking for work, because the minute you finish one job, you're unemployed to the next job. That's our life.
I know.
So I'm used to it since I was the age of 12. That's just the way it worked. Whereas you have a degree, you work for a company for 12, 13, 30, my dad worked for the railway, 37 years, same job. You know, so when you lose your job, it's extremely traumatic, because it's not supposed to happen. But in our line of work, you do one gig, you're employed to the next Wednesday, or till next Thursday, or till next Saturday, whenever you get another gig. So for me, you just roll with the ball, what I think a lot of artists do. Whereas when you're stuck in that degree kind of situation, it's a whole different world.
And I know you hear that even from, you know, well-known actors and stuff. They're like, you know, yeah, where's my next job coming from? And they just finished $1 million or $50 million movie, you know, but like, where's my next job coming from?
Oh, sure.
And we work with a lot of youth at risk and all kinds of different programs in the city, and that's part of what we're teaching them. Is that you can't just sit around and wait to go to Facebook or LinkedIn. It's like it's a lifelong process.
Oh, sure.
And there's no guarantees with jobs, no whether you have a degree or whatever it is. Because it's always an ongoing process. Brilliant.
Oh yeah, and you're only as good as yesterday. You know, people
that's
always.
Right.
You know, it's true. You do a great show, you do a great thing. Enjoy that for a minute, but just remember, there's always tomorrow. You know?
That's right. That's right. Well, if you're just tuning in now, you're listening to Lunch with Sandy out here at the Siena Italian restaurant at 9500 West Sahara, just west of Fort Apache. And we have a nice crowd today. We've got Murray Sawchuck, we've got Florence Baker Wood, we've got Amy Frost, we have Dr. Troll, we're going to have also, we've got John Esquivel, who's known as Voodoo Stick, and he's going to be playing a song for us. As a matter of fact, do you feel like playing something for us now, John?
Sure, why not?
All right, well, go ahead and John, tell us a little bit about, you said your stage name is Voodoo Stick. Tell us a little bit about that. That's kind of an unusual name.
Well, it is kind of an unusual name. I don't know. Some girl called my guitar that one day.
Oh.
So I decided, okay, I'll wave it around like a voodoo memory stick will get you haunted. I don't mind.
So how long have you been playing?
I've been playing probably about 20 years. I used to just play for my children. I raised 5 kids. And,
how many kids?
5.
5? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I had the picket fence, had the house in California. And after I was done raising my family, I decided to come out here and make a fool of myself and be a musician.
Oh my gosh. And isn't it so much fun making a fool of yourself and
Yes,
doing what you love, right?
Absolutely. But the real reason I'm here is to talk about an organization I'm part of, which is called Rockin' for the Warriors. And what we do is we send forward packages to the troops out in the field. And we also help a lot of other organizations in town through music. We throw rock concerts. And what Rockin' for the Warriors does is we do record sales of indie artists throughout all the cities in America, and we use that money also to help the troops in any way we can.
Well, I gotta sign up.
Yeah.
I've got some indie. I'm an indie artist.
Why not? Come on down. I'll put you on stage and rock. No problem.
Well, listen, I know we want to talk a little bit more about that, but I'd like to hear a song from you right now.
Okay, well, this is a song that is on the Rockin' for the Warriors album, and it went to #1 for a couple months, which I'm kind of proud of.
Okay.
And I wrote it just thinking about my son every morning when he was sitting out there in the middle of nowhere without his family.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, here we go with Voodoo Stick.
Warriors calling, lost his life on foreign ground. His loved ones he did leave behind, a woman and a child. Another soldier's promise with no future to be found. You know I can't believe the sound. Still the music in my heart, it must be found. And we can't forget the sacrifice. Let the freedom in your heart ring out tonight. And I remember when I was a military man, and I watched my own son go to war in the sand. When he was a little boy, I taught him how to fight. And now he's a U.S. soldier, he'll always do what's right. Lord, you know I can't believe the sound. Still the music in my heart must be found. Because we can't forget their sacrifice. So let the freedom in your heart ring out tonight. Let the freedom in your heart sing out tonight.
All right, we're going to be right back with Lunch with Sandy here at the Siena Italian Authentic Trattoria, right after Lunch with Sandy. Hi, everybody. How you doing? We've got a great crowd here today. We've got Amy Frost and our Delivering Happiness Messenger. We have Florence Baker Wood, who has her jewelry, and we're going to talk about your hats today, the designs. You also have clothing that you design. Oh no, just the jewelry and the hats.
Wearable art.
Wearable
of jewelry and headdresses.
Okay. And Dr. Robert Troll, hi, how are you?
Good day. Thank you very much for inviting me here.
Good to have you here. Cindy Parker introduced us, and it's so good to have you here. And then also we just heard some music from Voodoo Stick, otherwise known as John Esquivel. And later we're going to have Dr. Cord Strebel here. He's on his way. And I see his mom there. Hi, how you doing, Eloise? Nice to see you. So, Florence, tell us a little bit about your designs, your wearable art.
Primarily my wearable art is in the form of headdresses, one-of-a-kind sculpturesque headdresses. I incorporate bronze, silver, copper, fish skin, leather, feathers, and those kinds of materials to make headdresses that are also wearable, that you can actually wear out in the street, but they're definitely pretty avant-garde and on the cutting edge. The jewelry that I create is all one-of-a-kind, hand-forged or hammered, and I design and create the pieces myself. Most of my inspiration is from nature, so that I'm always looking at the way things move, you know, clouds, water, mountains. So I like a lot of asymmetrical and curvy lines in my work.
Yeah, I noticed, and you brought a book along with you.
Yes, I did.
That shows some of your designs. So how did you get involved in doing that? I know you know, you've been in art for a long time.
Actually, I started at the University of Washington many, many years ago. And I was in the interior design program.
Interior design. Right.
I had to take some electives. I took a metal design class only because I couldn't get into a much desired ceramics class. And I fell in love with the whole idea of working metal. And I liked the idea that metal is recyclable. So that if you don't like the way something is, you can melt it down and redo it. And so I think I just found, you know, what I really liked working with my hands. And when I was in interior design, I was drawing, you know, doing drafting and drawing, but not getting a final end product. And that's what I liked about the metal. So I pursued that, and I earned a Master of Fine Arts degree in jewelry and metal design and metalsmithing. And I do teach sometimes at, well, I teach all the time at university. I teach at university.
Sometimes you mean it more than others.
Exactly. I teach at UNLV, but I teach art appreciation right now, so I'm not in the studios anymore.
Well, it's good to have you here, and I know that
Thank
we've seen
you.
some of your creations at other times in different events that we've had with WIMA, and also Equity.
Great organization.
Thank you so
WIMA's
much.
a great organization, and I really appreciate what you're doing with that, Sandy.
Thank you. Well, you know, we try to, with Women in Music and Arts, it's about mentoring. And just like you said, when you were teaching, you were really mentoring students, you know, in the arts, and to follow their passion and to follow their dreams.
Exactly.
And to really, you know, seek out what it is that they are passionate about so that they can feel good about what they're doing in their lives.
Right, right. It's important. It's important. It's a self-therapy thing as well. And that's what I found when I was in the studio in University of Washington. I could never come out of the studio angry. If I had gone in upset or stressed, I always came out relaxed, just somehow pounding that metal and using yourself physically just released so much tension.
And then out of all that, you created something.
Yes.
Something beautiful.
Yes.
So now, how do people find out about your artwork? Is it around your jewelry, your wearable art?
Well, I have a page that I have just put up because I had a website that wasn't very functional. You know, this whole social media thing had me a little perplexed, but my son, who has just moved out here from Seattle, knows all about that.
Oh, that's great.
So he's helped me put up a page on Facebook. It's Baker Wood Design.
Okay.
That's Baker-Wood Design on Facebook, and you can like that.
Okay.
And also you can contact me at bakerwooddesign@gmail.com.
Okay, great.
Now the bakerwood.com, I'm sorry, Bakerwood Design at Gmail, there's no hyphen in there.
Okay, so it's
So
just
just
Bakerwood.
bakerwooddesign@gmail or baker-wood on Facebook.
Well, great. Well, it's great to have you on the show, and I know we're going to have you back on a little bit later because you're going to be showing some of your designs.
Thank you so much.
Amy, you had something.
Well, just from our collaborative circle last night, it was so funny. They had Michael Thrower with Community Connect works with young men, 10 to 18.
Right.
And he has a group of young men that want to learn how to mime.
I know.
I was like, wow, how cool is that?
It wants to be choreographed.
So we were trying to find,
right.
we're going to find him somebody
That's
to
right.
help teach these kids how to mime.
That's right. Isn't that great?
It's crazy and cool.
I know. Very cool. Very cool. So we've got another form of an artist here with Dr. Robert Troll. It says here I look at your website. It says Beauty by Design.
Yeah, when you're talking about Baker Wood design, now we have beauty by design.
That's right.
Follow-up.
Yeah, and so you design. All right, so you're a plastic surgeon.
I'm board certified in facial plastics and the American Board of Cosmetic Surgery as well. I actually have 4 board certifications, but yeah, that's what I do: facial plastic surgery and body contouring.
And how did you decide that this is what you wanted to do?
A lot of people during the training ask me that, and I think I try to keep an open mind during medical school and rotations to see, okay, what do I think I like? So what I try to do is rule everything out that I didn't want, and it turned out that it narrowed it down to this is what I like to do for a living. So I had initially going to become a medical illustrator, and I found out that the amount of education was the same for a doctor, so I decided to go that path.
Might as well be a doctor.
Exactly. So you're an artist instead of with clay. I know you do bronze sculpting,
Yes.
and you're with more of a human being as your mantle. So.
So tell us. I know you have a new process that you're doing, which is called the
The vampire
Vampire
facelift.
Face.
Nice.
And we all want to know about this because I understand it's absolutely fabulous.
Everyone wants to look their best.
Yes.
So this is another tool in the armamentarium. It got a lot of notification and notoriety from the Oscars in the gift basket. That was one of the #1 gifts that the Oscar winners and nominees got, so they got a lot of press.
It was one that they really liked.
Exactly.
In the basket.
So one of the advantages of this technique is it's minimally invasive, and the recovery is in 2 or 3 days, and that's it. So what it's designed to do is to rejuvenate your skin by using the normal skin's reparative qualities, such as platelets. If you cut yourself, stops bleeding, and then it starts the cascade of healing and it releases growth factors. So instead of doing that by cutting someone, what we can do is inject it into the skin, okay, with a very, very small needle, and it starts that process of rejuvenating the skin all by itself. And we're actually doing, we've done a couple courses teaching doctors how to do this. We're looking at the original concept, which is using an HLA filler. The one I prefer is by Allergan. It's called Juvederm. And you inject that in areas of volume loss or wrinkles, okay? And then what you can do is take someone's blood. You only need 2 teaspoons, okay, 10 cc's, and then we spin it in a centrifuge. And Eclipse Aesthetic is the only company that sells the reagent plasma. It's made at a company in France that has this type of test tube that it yields the best amount of growth factors and platelets than any other purification system, so that's the one I use. And what it does is, once you get the platelet-rich plasma, you can either put it topically on your skin, such as if you did a laser skin resurfacing procedure to make your skin look better, it heals much quicker. Or you can inject it directly into the skin. If you inject it directly in the skin, it increases the blood supply to the skin, thickens the skin, makes it look younger because of collagen and elastin fiber production. So it really, in a minimally invasive, quick procedure with minimal to no pain, and the recovery is very rapid.
Wow, that's amazing.
Oh, I like that.
The line is forming already.
And with all those movies about vampires, the guy that was Charles Reynolds determined, hey, I'm taking blood, let's determine vampire facelift. So that's a great idea.
That is so funny. So when did you start doing this form of?
I started in October, and actually I'm a luminary for the company to teach other doctors how to do this. When I was at Stanford, I actually did some preliminary testing using platelet-rich plasma on sinuses, where we put it in one sinus after surgery and not in the other, and I found that it healed much quicker. So the advantage now is it's very easy to take the blood, put it in a test tube, spin it in a centrifuge, and it's ready to use for aesthetics.
But this sounds like it's such a great process. I mean, because you're actually helping the body itself
Exactly.
do some healing and growing of new cells and replenishing itself.
People got smart and said, hey, the human body is an amazing thing. Eyes, brain, heart. Hey, why don't we use the body's own reparative and rejuvenation qualities to our benefit? And that's what one of the amazing things about this. As we know, Murray's the magician. This is like the magician for the human. So.
So basically, if somebody wanted to do it, like, okay, my radio show is today, so if I wanted to go in tomorrow and have this treatment, then next week I would be looking even better.
Yes, if you look how quick platelets and growth factors, if you cut yourself within a week,
you're already starting to heal.
So
right.
what we do to make it a better result, we do actually a microdermabrasion first.
Okay.
And then we have something called the micropen. You can use the dermapen. It makes small little holes in the skin, which heal in about 24 hours. When you inject the platelet-rich plasma, about a third of it leaks out. Well, if you made little holes, it'll leak right back into the skin. So that actually makes the result much better, and overall, the aesthetic result. People see within 1 to 2 weeks they have a glow to their face. I think Kim Kardashian was one of the famous people to have it done. And the recovery is very, very rapid with minimal to no bruising. Why? Platelets stop bleeding. So you can redo it. I like to do this before, let's say, facial fat grafting. Increase blood supply to the skin, and more fat will survive for a chronic or long-term volume improvement to your face. And you can do it right after a laser procedure to rapid the healing process.
Wow.
That's amazing.
All right, girls, any questions here?
Oh,
I see
like,
you all.
yeah, it's like, wow.
When did
I want to know when, how soon.
How soon?
How soon, I need it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Well, okay, if you're just tuning in now, you're listening to Lunch with Sandy. We were just talking with Robert Troll about, it's Troll.
Yeah, Robert Troll, and if you look, if you're any confusion on this, I have a website, drtroll, spelled TROELL.com, that has a page on the vampire facelift. It goes step by step how to do it. If there's any questions, people can call my office at 702-242-6488. I have a practice here in Las Vegas and one in Laguna Beach, California.
Okay, well, I see, yes, I've got a picture here of your website, your first page of your website, and it really is great. You've got beauty, face, body, and skin. Beauty by Design, Dr. Robert Troll. And this is Lunch with Sandy at the Siena Italian Authentic Trattoria here on West Sahara, 9500 West Sahara, and we will be right back after a message from our sponsors.
Okay.
Welcome back to Lunch with Sandy. We're here today at Siena Italian Authentic Trattoria at 9500 West Sahara. And we've got Mary Sawcheck and Amy Frost, and we've got Johnny. Is it okay to say Johnny? Or is it John Esquivel?
It's John Esquivel. Everybody calls me Johnny when they get to know me, though. It's
and
amazing.
Voodoo Stick, with Voodoo, also known as Voodoo Stick. And then we also have Dr. Cord Strevel, who's joining us right now. And his mom is in here too today. Hi, Eloise. How are you? And that's how we got to meet. Hi, Cord.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. It might help. Just try to take it out. Yeah, go ahead.
Take it out? Okay.
Yeah, you can hold that microphone so you can put it right up there. I know you just drove over because I know you were busy at the office, so it's nice to have you here.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
So, your mom introduced us, and she said, "Oh, you've just got to meet my son. He is so fabulous," And so I went over to the office last week and we had a really good talk. And you were telling me about all the different things that you do. You've got a foundation of your own, and you're an OBGYN.
Correct.
And you do a lot of things to help girls in the community, that don't have the funding, to take care of some certain things that they need to have done. So tell us a little bit about that, how you got involved, putting together your foundation.
Well, I have a few things that my clinic kind of offers. One, we do have a non-profit organization called Nevada Obstetrical Charity Clinic, which does take care of the patients that are kind of caught in between the insurance realm and not able to qualify for Medicaid. So they can't get insurance, but they can't qualify for Medicaid. It's also termed the working poor. So this organization teamed up with University Medical Center, University of Nevada, Reno, as well as UNLV. Nursing, and we all came together and said, if we can do this as a nonprofit, how can we get the health care at a lower cost so patients can get the same level of care, but for a cheaper price? So basically we went to bat for patients and tried to get the costs to be lower, especially through device companies, pharmaceuticals, ultrasounds. And so we went in there and we really price gouged everything because we're a nonprofit, and these organizations were able to get these devices at a lower price for us. Actually, sometimes they would say, hey, you can give your services for free, we'll give your devices for free. And so we went ahead and said, hey, this would be a great learning opportunity for residents and teaching opportunity, and we went ahead and devised this organization, and it's going pretty well.
Yeah.
And I think some patients that qualify for it do really well and are very pleased with the outcome.
Well, I know we talked about a lot of the different procedures that you actually do, and we'll probably talk a little bit more about that as time goes on. But how did you get involved? Why did you decide to become an OBGYN? What was your passion behind it?
That's the $1 million question. That is the $1 million question. You know, to be honest with you, I love surgery, and a lot of people think, OBGYNs, they just, you go to them and they have a pap smear and you're all done and that's all they do all day. And so it's really kind of funny when I was done and I started practicing, everybody's just like giving me a secret handshake or something. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I don't understand this, So this is like, well, this is all you do all day, right? And actually there's a lot of people that didn't realize that we actually did the C-sections, we did the surgeries, we did the hysterectomies. If there's an ovarian tumor or something wrong with a female in that area, the general surgeons would call us and they'd say, hey, can you take a look at this? We haven't seen this, or we haven't this. So we're the specialists in the female reproductive system, and we're the surgeons. And so it's not that we just take care of the generalized stuff. We actually, in fact, it's kind of funny if you go to your gynecologist just for a routine sniffle or whatnot. A lot of times they'll say go to your general practitioners. They don't want to reimburse us for just simple procedures unless you're pregnant. You know what I mean? So a lot of times they want the patients to go in for certain specialized things. But the thing that I really enjoyed about the OBGYN is that you get a routine, you get to take care of the patients, you get to follow them through time, you get to watch their family grow, you get to watch everything, and plus you get the surgical aspect of everything. So, and there's no other really medical field that actually can do that, because general surgeons, a lot of times they just see, you take out your gallbladder, you're done, you never see them again, at least you never hope they see you again. But with something that I do is, and one thing that's really blessing is, it's a blessing with this profession, is that actually when you do a surgery, you can actually come in and walk through the door and say congratulations, because there's not any field that you can do a surgery and walk in and say congratulations. Yeah. Majority of the time it's I'm sorry.
Right. Well, I noticed one thing I saw on the walls were a lot of pictures of babies. Yeah, a lot of babies. In fact, one of your photos that you have on your website is this one right here, and I believe that's your son?
That's my son, yeah.
That's your son right there.
KLAV,
Isn't that great?
yep. And right after he was born, we went out and we went and had a bunch of photos taken of him, and it's just amazing some of the photos that they can get the babies in, and actually he had a couple photos where he was smiling, and it's really that young of an age to have him start smiling, I thought was really great. So.
Well, it's wonderful, and it's wonderful to have you here, and to learn more about it. It's like you're bringing in new life, and then you're helping the women, go through these other things that they have to go through, that are processes that some of us have to deal with, throughout our lives. And like you said, you get to watch the progress, and as the women grow through different phases of their life.
Exactly. And so the different phases of life is definitely the key point of our practice. From deliveries for any abnormal bleeding, we do in-office novissures and ablations, which is a 90-second procedure that can actually stop bleeding. Do it right there in the office. We do Essure procedures in the office, which is actually a non-invasive sterilization method for women that just can't take the birth control, doesn't really like a lot of the side effects that go along with the birth control, or IUDs, and then they say, hey, let's do an Essure, and so it's a procedure that we can do with less than 5 minutes in the office, and they do actually pretty well with it. And other procedures such as urinary incontinence, bladder incontinence, uterovaginal prolapse, we take care of it all. And and they do pretty well. And also, we're now doing robotic surgery, which is a minimal invasive procedure for hysterectomy. So we do a broad range of things.
So if people want to find out where you're located, what your website is.
The website's drkts.com. That's my main personal website there. We can get you all the access.
What is that again?
It's drkts.com.
And why did you decide not to do it with your full name?
Well,
I'm just going to ask you that.
It's just it's a little easier because, in fact, it's actually a funny question. I actually speak Spanish, and I have all my patients call me Dr. Tomas. And the reason is my name's Cord Thomas Strebel, and you know, Strebel's at times kind of difficult for pronunciation and spelling, because if you really go through the German, it's Strebel, and then if you look, you know, it could be actually spelled Striegel if you look in the English version. So I think the English language is so hard enough to spell anyways, so you can only see why doctors write the way they do. And so I just decided to go pretty easy with just the DRKTS, and it's kind of hard to mess that up. And also, if you're trying to call us, the phone number is 438-BABY. So
438-BABY.
That's an easier way too. So 438-BABY, and you definitely can get a hold of us.
Well, thank you, Cord. It's great to have you here.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Stick around. We've got more to ask. I wanted to just reiterate, Murray, you've got your show is going on now 6 days a week, and it's at 4 o'clock now instead of 7.
Yes.
So it's a little time change. And how much is the show?
The show prices vary from $19.99 to $34.99. Depends how close you want to sit to the magic. We have a Golden Circle price VIP and a general admission.
And you don't smash anything to
not
make
that I know.
So
Not yet. But the show's different. You never know.
But of course, if you sit close, though, you do have a risk of being asked to come up on stage and participate.
Of course, yeah, or even way in the back. You're never safe in my room.
I know. You were saying hi to me. That's the one thing about being in a nice 300-seat room, because you could see me, and I was sitting in the back booth, because that's where I wanted to sit. It was a great location. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. And but you could see us all, you know, so and you could, you know, kind of see how our reactions were, and include us in what you were doing. So again, it's 6 days a week at 4 o'clock, and it's at the Tropicana Hotel, and it's Murray. It's Laugh Factory presents Murray Celebrity Magician,
and you can find all that online as well at murraymagic.com. You can buy tickets. You can see a bunch of stuff on there, or Twitter me at Murray Sawchuck.
And now, and I'm just going to let everybody know out there, if they happen to have any grizzly bears in their backyard that they want to have disappear, you can call also the,
I got the trick figured out finally. 3 weeks, I figured it out. So
you figured out how to make the grizzly bear disappear.
Yes.
And of course reappear. Someplace different, right?
Always. You never know.
Well, thanks again, Murray, for coming out. It's always a pleasure to see you, and I'm looking forward to next time having your wife on too.
Yeah, she's in fantasy over at Luxor, so she'd love to come on.
I know, I'm going to have her come on too. So thank you so much, Murray.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And if you're just tuning in now, you're listening to Lunch with Sandy here at Siena Italian Authentic Trattoria at 9500 West Sahara Avenue, just west of Fort Apache. And we're going to listen to a song by John Esquivel, otherwise known as Voodoo Stick, as we go out here. So,
just a quick reminder to everybody to go to rockinforthewarriors.com. Please help support our troops any way you can. And if you're looking for Voodoo Stick music, go to Reverb Nation and just type in the word Voodoo Stick.
Turning point, forward stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind. Hang them on the shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos and memories of death.
That was John Voodoo Stick, and this is lunch with Sandy at Siena Trattoria at 9500 West Sahara. We're going to be right back after a brief pause from our sponsors. Welcome back to Lunch with Sandy. This is Sandy Kastel, and we are here at the Siena Italian Authentic Trattoria at 9500 West Sahara, just west of Fort Apache. This is Lunch with Sandy. So, Amy, you said you wanted to talk a little bit about the veterans.
Well, I think it's really exciting. We've got a lot of people wanting to support the veterans in lots of different ways. I think it's very cool. And as you well know, my husband, Ross Bryan, is the Director of Veteran Services out at UNLV. And on June 15th, they're going to have a veteran career fair. And so they're really looking for, certainly helping the veterans, to find jobs. They're going to have workshops, and also people come out to help with intern programs and help them get jobs. So I want to try to get some excitement going here and, get the community to really come together.
Great, and then we've also got, John, who's supporting the veterans, and I know that we have a lot of different organizations. We did the Scorpion Warrior last year.
It was a year ago, do you believe
that? It was a year ago, I know, March 17th last year.
I know, we froze our little butts off.
And that was helping women veterans.
Yeah, Final Salute.
Yeah,
homeless female veterans.
Homeless female veterans. And then we did the Toys for Tots in December. So there's a lot of different organizations out there that are helping the vets.
And they're coming together, which I think is really important. Instead of scattered around, they're coming together.
Yeah. So that's always good. So we've got to always remember our veterans because they're fighting for us, to keep our country safe. And Florence, you have some of your beautiful artware here. That these are some of your necklaces. Tell us a little bit about the designs of these necklaces.
Okay, thank you. Some of the necklaces that I do, I have to consider that many people are single. And so that's one of the considerations. I try to make things that accentuate the body, that flow with the curves and lines of the body, but also that are easy to put on by yourself. And that's because I remember buying a bracelet once and trying to put it on when I was home alone, and it was impossible. So a lot of the pieces that I do have self-closing magnetic kinds of fastenings. They have fastenings that close in the front. They're interchangeable so that you can have one large piece and have a choker that you can interchange the elements in it. So you can have a turquoise piece or a rose quartz piece, or you can put them together. So I like to call the single element the free-form choker. And the choker can accept many other pieces that can hang from it. And I like to use sterling silver as well as fine silver. Fine silver, of course, is 99% pure silver, so it doesn't tarnish as much, but it's very soft. So I have to consider the kind of design I put into that. And I like to use stones, semi-precious stones like rose quartz, turquoise, lapis, pearls. I love fresh pearls. And also I also do wedding bands and wedding sets. And I have to say that I'm very proud of the fact that, and I don't know if this is my lucky streak and I hope I don't break it, but everybody I've designed a wedding ring for is still married.
That's a good thing.
And the first people were about 20 years ago.
And I see, congratulations. I see that you have your book here that shows off a couple of your designs, your hat designs.
Yes, the hats are actually sculptured. They can be worn, but they can also be hung or just displayed. And I make them from bronze. I use leather, fish skin, various metals, and I use conventional millinery techniques so that I'm blocking the leather and the felts, but I'm adding things like copper and bronze, and the brims are sometimes made out of metal or feathers and things of that sort.
And again, you have a Facebook page that is under
Baker Wood Design. That's
Baker
Wood Design on Facebook. Please like my page.
Okay.
And you can contact me at bakerwooddesign@gmail.com.
Well, thank you so much again for coming on the show, Florence. It's always good to have you here. And just a reminder, Rockin' for the Warrior will be at Tommy Rocker's this Saturday at 9 p.m. And that's where Voodoo Stick is going to be performing. And then also we have a couple of other events I wanted to talk about. We've got the Mark and Ken show, and that's my vocal coach, who's Mark Thompson, is going to be doing an event with Ken, who was in the Jersey Boys. I'm sorry.
Some kind of boy. Some boy.
Anyway, that's going to be Saturday, March 23rd. Oh my gosh, at 7 p.m. and that is at the Christ the Servant, which is 2 South Pecos Road in Henderson, Nevada. And that is a free event. It's a free concert with the Mark and Ken Show. And then also at the Exclusive Collections Gallery down at the Forum Shops, they've got their miniature show this weekend, which is March 22nd through the 24th. That's their 7th annual miniature show, and that is in the Forum Shops. It's Exclusive Collections Gallery, and one of our members, Marilyn, is St. Pierre, is working over there.
So what if people are looking for something to do tonight, Sandy?
If they're looking for something to do tonight, they can come to the Music for Life, which is at, what's that address again? It's 2975
Rainbow, South
Rainbow, and that's for the WIMA Mixer. Yes, that's a WIMA Mixer being hosted by Music for Life, and they're going to be doing a lot of, about 10 minutes on each of their...
they have the acoustic bed, which is really cool, vibrations, healing, they're going to do some drum circles. Yeah, it'll be really fun.
For the WIMA members and all the guests that visit us. And then also, if you want to find out more about the Women in Music and Arts Foundation, you can go to wimafoundation.org. That's WIMA foundation.org, where you can become a member, you can be a sponsor, or you can sponsor our events.
You bring your skills and talents to the table.
Yeah, that's right. Get involved with WIMA, Women in Music and Arts. So, we want to thank everybody that came today to be on the show. I want to say Dr. Robert Troll and to Dr. Cord Strobel. Thank you so much, and Florence Wood Baker for being on the show. And we had Murray Sawchuck, and we also had
I think he made some food disappear.
And John Esquivel.
He made some food disappear.
Oh my gosh. And of course my co-host, who's always here with me every week, Amy Frost. And please tune in every Wednesday. We're here at Siena Italian Authentic Trattoria at 9500 West Sahara. And we are Lunch with Sandy, and I am Sandy Kastel, your host. And we look forward to seeing you next Wednesday from 12 to 1. And we're broadcast live on KLAV 1230 AM.